our Saturday Read to Grow live session. So we are excited to share some of the nuggets from some of our books, what we are reading. And I have two, speakers today on the call, Ramesh and Tamarai. See, our motto through these live sessions is to help people to inculcate the reading habits, because I know reading habits can bring in a lot of differences in our life. But the challenge is how to start, where to start. That is a question people have. So we are running our Read to Grow book club on every Wednesday 9 to 10 p.m. so that we can help people who wanted to read in their life, and implement a lot of learnings from the books, and make their life successful and bring some good habits in their life actually. So I have two speakers, as I said, Tamarai and Ramesh, waiting for me in the studio, so whom I can bring up to you, and they can tell us what are the books they are reading, and how it is helping them to inculcate some of the learnings from the book reading club. So let me bring up Ramesh first on the screen. Hi Ramesh, welcome to the studio. How are you doing?
Yeah, hello. Very good morning to everyone. Hi, Sam. Yeah.
If you can introduce probably, what you do, how, what, probably quick
As you know,
introduction.
As you know, I am Ramesh Sundashi City. Basically, I work in an MNC. I have overall 10 years of corporate experience. Because of a habit of reading, I'm just now over here in front of you guys. Uh,
Awesome,
Wish
great,
you all
Ramesh.
happy Guru Purnima. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much for joining us. Let me bring up Tamarai as well. Hey Tamarai, welcome to
Hi,
the
Sam.
studio.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good, Sam. Doing good.
Good. So
Hi,
if you can
Ramesh.
introduce yourself just for the viewers' sake. I know about you, but just for the
Yeah.
viewers.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. I'm Thamari Selvan. I have around 13 years of experience in the corporate. I work in the information security field.
Great. Thank you, Tamarai. Thank you very much for joining us. I know Ramesh and Tamarai are avid readers. They have been part of our book club from a long time, and I'm sure that they have inculcated a lot of information or a lot of learnings from the book reading actually. So today, guys, we are going to discuss about what the book we are reading. So, Tamarai, if you can just start off with which book we are reading, what are the learnings from there actually. And in case if you have implemented some of the learnings from there, you can put it in front of viewers so that they can also take some nuggets from us.
So the Think and Grow Rich. I'm going chapter by chapter. Today I'm planning to share the imagination, the sixth chapter with you people. So actually, as we discussed earlier, we'll pick a self-help book. You can pick any book and start reading them, digest them. It's not just like a reading like a stories or a time pass. Even if you read a page a day, if something, even sometimes one line can make you think for a whole day or a whole week. You need to prepare such effort is required to prepare yourself or to adapt what the learning you are taking from the book. So per se this particular book have a lots of information. Even there are thousands of inputs from the book. Even if you implement one or two things, it will be helpful. From the chapter imagination is the key. See, let's say we are in the 21st century. So far, whatever the great learnings or a great inventions or a great findings happen, it was one point in time, it was somebody's imagination in the mind. So they put into action and finally it came to a shape and we all are using as a consumer or a customer, or somehow we are getting benefit out of it. If that point in time, it was not existing at all. So that's the power of imagination. So if you have an imagination power and if you are putting in appropriate action with the goal plan and everything, that will give you a result. It is not going to give you result as well. That result will be giving a benefit to number of people. So now, say for example, now whatever the electronic gadgets and the modern world we are living, everything was an imagination of someone else several years back. So that's the power of imagination. And from there I have started implementing one thing, that as soon as in the morning when we wake up, right, let's say if you don't read a book, so the first thing is read a book. What happens, that will give you a clarity for the day. Else what happens, in the morning itself we'll start with the social media or somewhere else, we will get diluted. So we'll be focused, we'll be using the social media for our active and effective purpose, not for a time pass.
Great, Tamre. That is a wonderful thing. Actually, yeah, what I could relate to that example what you were telling. Actually, the electronic gadget. So I can see a fan at home, maybe a fridge or a mobile or whatever. like somebody felt hot and he thought, okay, I need somebody to blow air. So he made something about technology. Actually, somebody thought about light and they imagine something and do that. See, I remember when I was reading this book called Psycho Cybernetics. In that one word come up, actually the ideas are in the air, right? But when you imagine and you pick up that ideas yourself, that is where you put it into practice and make it happen. But it's not that every human being does not have the idea. Everything is in the air. Actually, the people who will be able to grab that, it can happen. So and I would say, I was reading this book called again No Limits last week. I was discussing on the book club as well. So the one of the main thing which we need to take care about is the awareness of ourselves. Actually, we need to understand first where we are today, what were we doing, where we are, what are our status today, what are our knowledge today, what is our financial status today, everything. That awareness, complete awareness should come in, so that you can make it better. So problem with most of the people today is only because, including me, some 10 years back, to the same the thing with me as well. I was not aware where I'm going. I don't know where I was in corporate job. I was just going to a job and coming back. I didn't know what is my financial status was. I didn't know what my relationship status was. I was just like a survival kind of thing, just like a sheep go together into the crowd. Actually, that's what my journey was. But when I started realizing an awareness, building the awareness within myself, then I thought, okay, yeah, this is where I stand. So now I need to work towards the next step of my life. That was an amazing book, actually, No Limits, which have the first chapter itself talks about awareness, and it gives a lot of information in it, actually. So let me go to Ramesh and ask Ramesh, which book you are reading and what is the implementation, what you have done.
Yeah, well spoken and well narrated the Think and Grow Rich. So I would like to introduce my guru or my friend today to every one of you, The Power of Subconscious Mind. The Power of Subconscious Mind, written by Joseph Murphy. This book stands with the lens of our mind, our subconscious mind, with all other aspect or every critical corner of our life, like the happiness, the money, the richness, the career, the relationship, the fear. The subconscious mind with relevance to the all these aspects been covered very well in this book, and also given a certain similar normal techniques what we can adopt in our life to get rid of it. In that, I'm going to talk you right now about the subconscious mind with it relevance to the fear. So, guys, every one of us in the world having one or other fear. Some of us are having a fear to crack an interview. Some of us having a fear to face examination. Where entire world right now in the fear of COVID. So this fear can be categorized into two kinds. One is a normal fear, and another one is abnormal fear. Normal fear is a good for health, because if you go around the around park or around the road, if something is coming and hitting you, or some vehicle is coming, you just try to escape from that. That is a normal fear. Where other way around, as our friend Tamarai told, imagination is the key. If you are imagining negatively that tomorrow I'm supposed to speak up something I'm not prepared. If I start showering right now, it is an imaginative fear. It is an abnormal completely. That should not be a right for us. So for fear can be defeated, but it cannot be killed. So guys, always have a perception in the mind that I can overcome from any kind of fear. I can contain. I can win over it. But best way to face the fear is let's face it off rather than keeping our own, giving our own imagination. That's what been brought up in this book, guys. And there's a better techniques been introduced in the books. I cannot tell you right now, because you should go to that book and talk to that book and learn what exactly you learn from the book. That's it, Sam. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree with that, actually. See, one of the, best selling, or I would say, widely known book, actually written by Joseph Murphy,
Yeah.
Power of Subconscious Mind. And it has helped so many entrepreneurs in the world, actually, if we talk about it. So because if you go and read the review of the book, because see, we are in a conscious world, actually. So everything what we take step is consciously. But believe me, as Ramesh was telling, actually, right? So if you unconsciously do things, actually, in the sense through your subconscious mind, I'm not telling just do something like that. Subconscious, through your subconscious mind. So there are a lot of things where you get solutions for. It's just like the one of the, I think the author says in that book, actually, when I read it sometime back, I heard, go with the problem, sleep through the problem. throughout the night, actually sleep through the problem, and when you get up in the morning, because your problem is in the subconscious mind processing, when you get up in the morning, you get a result to it or a solution to it, actually. So that is an amazing concept, and then I think I have used it for so many times. So because for me it's not sleep through, probably I'll just go for a walk or just sit idle, and I just keep calm, so that I get the result or a solution for it. Actually my subconscious mind will be running through the problem and then get the result out of it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ramesh. It was wonderful, nuggets for the viewers. Actually, Tamarai, coming back to you, do you have anything else on the Think and Grow Rich to want to talk about imagination again?
Sure, Sam. Actually, see, when you're talking about imagination, there is no limit. You can travel to moon and come back in a fractions of second. So that's the power of imagination. So you don't limit yourself. So you have a plan. See, this is a very good boon to all of us. So as Ramesh stated, how you are utilizing it is going to give you the result. If you're afraid of something and if you keep thinking about negative, something is going to happen. The result will be obviously, what is going to be. So you use the imagination skill wisely, and further you have to train yourself and your mind and use it appropriately to achieve the great results. So if you see the world's renowned authors or artists or entrepreneurs or a businessman, sportsman or a actress, you let's take anyone who all are success in the world. They had something on their imagination. Let's say Sachin Tendulkar want to be a world number one player. He may not be taught in the day one. He wanted to start the playing, then day by day he have keep developing himself. First I wanted to enter into the under 19, then so and so, then World Cup. He have reached, and then one point in time he become a master blaster. Likewise, if you take anyone from the industry, I don't want to take any personal person, but if you just think who's your master person in your mind, they would be started their journey somewhere else. And if you see today, they are in some peak. They know basically their results is known to everyone. So that's why we all are talking about them, right? So those things will inspire you. So you keep your own imagination an appropriate way to shape your career, and that can help your near and dear ones. So when you are good, you can help others, and others can get benefit. The others, what I'm referring is, can be your immediate family member or your immediate circle or your next circle. So as long as others are getting benefit without harming you, it is good, right? So keep imagine and use it appropriate way.
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree with you, because see, it's like whatever we're doing today as well. So whatever the live session, what we're doing today. So I know somebody in somewhere is getting benefited. So because we're doing some good things, that is what we wanted to do as well, right? So we want to put across our thoughts about book reading, the habits, what we're changing and everything. Somewhere somebody will pick it up, and their life is going to become better. So when you are growing, basically it's not only you're growing, you are helping surrounded people to grow as well. That's an amazing thing what you told, Tamarai. Exactly correct, actually, because if you are surrounded with good people, you also grow with them, as well as when you are grow, your surrounding people also will grow. Actually, it's like you are giving service to people, probably unknowingly or maybe without any intention to give it, actually, but they are picking up things from us. Amazing, amazing. Thank you very much, Tamarai. So Ramesh, lastly, coming to you. So what more you have to tell about power of a subconscious mind?
There are a lot to tell, but I would like to be specific right now, considering the time right now. So as our friend Tamarai told, imagination is a power. Guys, you cannot sit in a meat shop and imagine the fragrance of jasmine, guys. So it is not just a one day or one night stand that you can overcome from the fear. So with that, there is a very good technique which is introduced in the book. Anyone can follow at any point of time in day and day out. What is that technique? That technique Joseph Murphy introduced there. See, as I told you, whatever you are feeling the fear, let's face it off. But before facing it off, let's have what could be the power of output, better output, successful output of that. Take an example. See, I would like to be a public speaker. So in order to be a public speaker, what are the ideal qualities, ideal imagination? What is an ideal speaker looks like? Have that thought in a mind and have 3 minutes or 5 minutes, three such imagination by sitting on a chair. Just imagine by closing your eyes. If I'm going to speak on a particular stage, how I should look like, how should be my outfit, what kind of vocabulary I should have in order to speak out. So start giving that imagination over and day in day out. Start giving that practice 3 days, 3 times in a week, three times in a day, once in the morning, once at the noon, or once while going to the bed. So start having this kind of practice day in day out. Definitely guys, you definitely find a better transformation in you and getting rid of that fear. So that's what I would like to introduce over here from the book, The Power of Subconscious Mind. Yeah.
Thank you, Ramesh. And any impact statement to people? So any suggestion to people? Probably read a day or read one page a day, whatever, kind of statement to them.
So what I can say, consider your book as a guru today. Considering the one of the great day, the Guru Purnima. Start following your guru. Start following your friend as a book. So definitely, guys, life will be a beautiful, much more graceful with the support of that book. Thank you.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
great. So Tamara, anything from your end? Any impact statement to the viewers?
So one line I would like to give, you just start your day with at least one page a day. For beginners, probably if you're able to read 100 page a day, I appreciate. For this is for beginners who are thinking, should I start? Can I? What I will get? Is it really required? Keep those things aside. I'm personally myself is an example. Let's say whenever we pick a mobile, let's you get into Facebook or WhatsApp or whatever it is, you don't know how much time you're spending. By the time you realize, it will be 30 minutes, an hour, or until someone else call, you don't realize you're spending time. But what actually you got it, except the entertainment or the joy, is it really helping you? But whereas I started realizing and start limiting myself spending time there. So when I wake up in the day, as soon as I woke up, I will keep at least couple of books in each table. So wherever I sit, whatever the mood I am, I will pick something and I will read something in the sense purely a self-help books, some for probably your financial freedom or your personality development or a subconscious mind. So there are, if you see backside, I bought lots of books. So each and every table of my home, there will be something. So you pick a book, you read a page that is worth. So that, see, I will give you a simple example. Whenever you hear it here in the morning, whenever you hear a very first song or a first dialogue, that will be running on your entire day. Unknowingly or subconscious mind, it will be, you will be humming that song. If you are a music listener, or if you have seen some movie or a dialogue or something, that will be subconsciously running in your background. But that was not giving any results. But if you start a day with a book, probably in a page, probably one sentence or a one word will empower you, or that will made your day. Probably likewise, if you keep progressing bit and pieces, one day you can build your own emperor. That's
Absolutely.
the suggestion.
Absolutely agree with you, Tamrai. So as you said, whenever you get up in the morning, if you going to fight with your wife, then the entire day will be a fight. So if you're going to scold your kids, it will be a problem. So it's better that take some positive things. So take a book and read it. And I liked your concept, Tamrai. So keep a book in all the tables. Actually, wherever you're going to it, probably you're drinking a tea. Take a book and read. Maybe you can get something about it. Maybe you're probably sitting in a drawing room, so take a book and read, so you don't have to waste time actually, rather than going through the Facebook or whatever, do that. So but anyway, social media also good, but if you're utilizing it in a proper way. But if you're not utilizing the proper way, it's a problem again. So I think, yeah, we have already like 18 minutes time spent on it. But thank you very much, Tamarai and Ramesh, the joining us, because it is a Saturday and Sunday is a family time, but still we took out time and coming up here, just for the sake of viewers, give some nuggets out of our learnings actually. So we will meet up again next Saturday. So we will be coming out with lot more learnings from other books actually.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Tamarai. Thank you very much, Ramesh. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Take care.
Have a good day. Yeah. Thank you.